What? I had never heard of this until I read this comment a few days ago. And I mean, like, I have a lot of degrees in history. So apparently when FDR was elected, there were a lot of like mega millionaires who were really nervous that his policies, especially maybe taking us off the gold standard, was going to cause massive inflation and basically like destroy the country, right? There had also just recently been these very famous bonus army marches. So thousands and thousands of World War I veterans who were now in poverty because the Great Depression was, getting started. They marched on Washington to say, hey, we're owed like basically bonuses when we're at retirement age, which would be not now, but like we're in a Great Depression. Can you pay us our bonuses now? We served our country in World War I. And the government under Hoover and Douglas MacArthur is like, no. So anyway, this guy, Major General Smedley Butler, was known as the Fighting Quaker. He was fighting for his country. He went and fought in World War I, but then he came back and he became sort of an anti-war advocate. He started pointing out that like a lot of Americans had gotten really rich during World War I. This was a new concept, right, in the 20th century that a lot of people were just now noticing that like, hey, there seem to be a lot of people just profiting off of war, and they're not typically the same people that are going and fighting and dying in the wars. Anyway, so apparently when FDR was elected, this major general was approached by this cabal, this like group of very wealthy men in the United States. And they basically said, hey, if you want to march all these veterans like y'all kind of did for this bonus army march, you want to march them to like overthrow FDR, we will install a Mussolini type fascist dictator who will be able to like gain control of this economy, and we'll reward you for it. He strung them along for months to get more and more information, and then he took it to J. Edgar Hoover, who was the head of what was going to become the FBI, and there was an investigation. But the press called it a hoax, right? Even the government kind of tried to cover it up because, like, I think FDR didn't want people to know just how tenuous his hold on the country was right after he'd been inaugurated. So yeah, this all got kind of swept under the rug. It's never really been talked about in history. I never learned about it. I never even heard about it. But yeah, in the 1930s, there was a pro-fascist coup trying to overthrow the democratically elected Democratic candidate who was trying to combat inflation in the midst of a global crisis.